awesome kids! Did you know your body has over 600 muscles? They help you run, jump, smile, and even breathe.
Hey there, 5th grade scientists! Welcome to Muscle Academy. I'm absolutely thrilled to be your teacher today as we dive into, well, one of the most amazing, hard-working systems in your entire body, the muscular system. I mean, we use our muscles for literally everything. Running around the playground, blinking your eyes, even smiling at your friends. But have you ever stopped to wonder how they actually work? Like really work? Today, in this explainer, we're going to shrink right down, take a microscopic journey inside the human body, and uncover the invisible secrets of how our muscles move and grow. It's going to be awesome. All right, let's kick things off with a quick little experiment. Right now, wherever you are, I want you to hold up your arm and flex your bicep just like a superhero. Go ahead, really flex it. Do you feel that bump pop up right under your skin? It feels super solid, doesn't it? But what's actually happening in there? How does a squishy piece of tissue suddenly become this hard knot that can, lift a heavy backpack? Well, it's not magic, it's science. Underneath your skin, right this very second, there are millions of microscopic parts talking to your brain and pulling on each other like a giant microscopic game of tug-of-war. So let's look at how this is all put together. I want you to picture a really thick, heavy rope. If you look closely at a rope like that, you'll notice it's actually made of smaller bundles of string twisted together, right? And if you pull apart those smaller bundles, you'll find even tinier, microscopic threads. Well, your muscles are built exactly the same way. That big muscle you just flexed, it's made of smaller bundles called fascicles. And those bundles are made of even tinier strings called muscle fibers. And get this, a muscle fiber is actually a single muscle cell. So when you look at a whole muscle, you're really looking at thousands of tiny biological ropes all bundled up together. Now, before we zoom in even further, we need to clear something up. Not all muscles are the same. Actually, your body has 3 totally different types of muscles, and they all have completely different jobs. First up, we have skeletal muscles. These are the ones attached to your skeleton, like your biceps or your leg muscles. These are the ones you control when you decide to run or jump. Second, we have cardiac muscle, and cardiac just means heart. This muscle is amazing because it works completely on its own, pumping blood through your body every single second of your life without you even having to think about it. And third, we have smooth muscle. You'll find this type hiding inside your organs, like your stomach. Actually, right now, smooth muscles are slowly squeezing and pushing your lunch through your digestive tract in this wave-like motion called peristalsis. Pretty wild, right? Okay, let's zoom all the way down to the microscopic level of those skeletal muscles. Deep inside those tiny muscle fiber threads, we find the ultimate functional unit of the muscle. It's called the sarcomere. The sarcomere is basically a tiny, microscopic factory where the real magic of movement happens. And inside this little factory, we have 2 main characters you need to meet: actin and myosin. Actin is a very thin filament, kind of like a thin string. Myosin, on the other hand, is a thick filament, and it has these funky little bumpy heads sticking out all over it. Everything your muscles do, every single movement, comes down to how actin and myosin interact with each other. So how do these 2 actually make you move? Well, scientists call this the sliding filament theory, and it happens in 4 really simple steps. Step 1, your brain thinks, hey, I want to move my arm, and it sends a lightning-fast signal down your nerves. Step 2, that signal tells your muscle to release calcium. Now, calcium acts exactly like a special key. You see, actin has a lock on it, but when calcium rushes in, click, it unlocks the door. Step 3, once that door is unlocked, the thick myosin reaches up and grabs onto the thin actin, creating a connection we call a cross bridge. And finally, step 4, myosin pulls the actin. This sliding action makes the whole sarcomere get shorter, which, you guessed it, makes your whole muscle flex. To really picture what that pull looks like, I want you to close your eyes for a second. Imagine a rowboat out on a calm lake. The thick myosin molecule, that's the rower sitting in the boat. And those little bumpy heads sticking out, those are the oars. The thin actin filament is the water. So when it's time to flex your muscle, the myosin oars reach out, grab the actin water, and pull backward, dragging the actin along. Then they let go, reach forward, and take another stroke. Millions of these tiny rowers, all pulling at the exact same time, is exactly what gives you the strength to lift a heavy box or throw a baseball. But hold on a second. Rowers can't just row forever without energy, right? I mean, they'd get completely exhausted. In our microscopic muscle factory, that energy comes from a special molecule called ATP. Think of ATP like tiny energy coins. In order for the myosin oars to let go of the actin and take another stroke, they have to spend one ATP coin. If your muscle completely runs out of ATP, the myosin actually gets stuck attached to the actin, and your muscle can't move at all. So when you're eating a healthy lunch, your body is actually turning that food into ATP energy to keep your microscopic rowers rowing.
All right, let's connect the brain to the bicep. We call this process excitation-contraction coupling. Now, don't let that giant science word intimidate you. It really just means the connection between the brain spark and the muscle squeeze. The signal from your brain travels down a motor neuron, which is basically like an electrical wire, and releases a special chemical right onto the muscle. This creates an electrical wave that dives deep, deep inside the muscle through these special tunnels called T-tubules. That electrical shock is the exact trigger that tells the muscle to release those calcium keys we talked about earlier. So literally, every single movement you make starts with a tiny, amazing electrical storm.
Now here's a super common mistake I see students make all the time, so listen up. How do our squishy muscles actually move our hard skeleton? Well, they do it using tendons and ligaments, but they are completely different things. Tendons are the strong ropes that connect your muscle to your bone. When your muscle shortens, it pulls on the tendon, which pulls the bone like a puppet on a string. Ligaments, on the other hand, connect bone to bone. Think of ligaments like strong seat belts, holding your joints together so your bones don't wobble out of place. So remember this trick. Tendons tether muscle to bone, ligaments link bone to bone.
Okay, let's talk about something you see in the real world all the time. Athletes lifting weights. Have you ever wondered how muscles actually get bigger and stronger? In science, we call this muscle growth hypertrophy. When you lift something really heavy, you create mechanical tension. This heavy pulling actually causes tiny, safe, microscopic tears in your muscle fibers. We call this microdamage. But don't worry, this is a completely normal and healthy kind of damage. Your body is incredibly smart. It senses this damage and immediately sends in a special repair crew called satellite cells. These cells patch up those tiny tears, adding more protein and making the muscle fiber thicker and stronger than it was before, just so it can handle that heavy weight the next time.
Wow, we've covered a lot. Let's do a super quick, rapid-fire summary to lock all this in our brains before we get to our quiz. Number 1, our skeletal muscles are made of tiny fibers, and inside those are sarcomeres. Number 2, the sliding filament theory explains how the thick myosin rowers pull the thin actin strings to shorten the muscle. Number 3, calcium unlocks the door, and ATP provides the energy coins for the rowing. And number 4, lifting weights causes safe microdamage, which those satellite cells repair to make our muscles grow even bigger. Honestly, you guys are practically muscle experts already.
But wait, before we test your knowledge, I've just got to share some incredibly cool, fun facts from our sources. We have 6 mind-blowing facts for you today. Fact number 1. Did you know that when your muscles use that ATP energy to contract, about 75% of that energy is actually released as heat? That's exactly why you get so hot and sweaty when you run around. Fact number 2 is a real-world application of that. When you're outside in the freezing cold and you start to shiver, that is just your brain telling your skeletal muscles to rapidly contract back and forth to burn ATP and generate heat to keep your body warm. So cool, right? Fact 3, those satellite cells that repair your muscles, they actually act like stem cell donors, literally giving their own cell nuclei to the muscle fiber to help it grow. Fact 4, the strongest muscle in your entire body based on its weight is actually in your jaw. It's called the masseter, and it helps you chew. Fact 5, the absolute hardest working muscle is definitely your heart. It beats around 100,000 times a day without ever taking a single break. And finally, fact number 6, it actually takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. So keep smiling.
All right, class, it is time for the ultimate muscle quiz. I'm going to ask the question, and I want you to shout out the answer wherever you are. Feel free to pause this explainer if you need an extra second to think. Okay, question 1. What is the thick filament with the bumpy rower heads called?
Myosin, because it's the big rower. Question 2, what is the thin filament that gets pulled? Actin, because it acts like the thin water the oars pull against. Question 3, what is the microscopic functional unit of a muscle called? A sarcomere. That's the tiny microscopic factory where all the movement happens. Question 4, what is the energy coin that powers the muscle? ATP. Without those coins, our rowers get totally stuck. Question 5, which muscle type pumps your heart automatically? Cardiac muscle. Remember, the word cardiac literally means heart. Great job!
Let's keep that energy high for the next 5. Remember to hit pause if you need a moment. Question 6. What acts like a special key to unlock actin? Calcium, because it opens the door for the rowers to grab on. Question 7. What connects a muscle to a bone? A tendon. Remember our puppet strings analogy? Question 8. What connects a bone to another bone? A ligament. Those are the strong seatbelts holding your joints safe. Question 9. What is the scientific word for muscles growing bigger? Hypertrophy. That's when those awesome satellite cells do their repair work. And finally, question 10. Where does the signal to move your arm start? Right up in your brain, traveling down a nerve just like an electrical wire. You guys are totally crushing this. Let's move on to the true or false section. Okay, rapid fire, true or false. Get ready. Number 1, shivering is your muscles burning ATP to make heat. True or false? True. They are working super hard just trying to keep your body warm. Number 2, tendons connect bone to bone. False. That's a ligament. Tendons connect muscle to bone. Number 3, muscles can contract perfectly fine without any calcium. False. Calcium is the absolutely necessary key to unlock the actin. Number 4, smooth muscle helps digest your lunch. True. Smooth muscles use that wave-like motion called peristalsis to gently push your food along. Number 5, satellite cells repair muscle micro-damage. True again. They are our trusty microscopic repair crew.
To finish up our quiz section, I've got 5 short answer challenges for you. Number 1, describe the sliding filament theory in your own words. Number 2, explain the robot analogy using actin and myosin. Number 3, why do athletes need to eat protein to build ATP? Number 4, what is the difference between a fascicle and a muscle fiber? And number 5, explain exactly what satellite cells do when you lift a heavy weight. For these, I want you to pause this explainer right now, write your answers down in your science notebook, and then test your knowledge later with a classmate or your teacher. I know you can answer all of these because you've been fantastic listeners today.
Now, for our final slide, I want to leave you with a bonus challenge. I want you to think like a scientist and a sports coach combined. Using what we just learned about mechanical tension, microdamage, and satellite cell repair, I want you to design a workout plan to grow the biggest muscles possible. But here is the really provocative question. Based on how those satellite cells work to repair damage, why do you think professional athletes absolutely must have rest days where they do nothing? I mean, think about it. If you never let the repair crew actually do their job, what happens to the muscle factory? Keep exploring, keep questioning, and I will see you next time at Muscle Academy.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a new lesson.